today's episode of Weekly Poker Hand, one of my favorite video bloggers, Jaman Burton, gets a little bit out of line with the 5-3 suited. Let's see how it goes.
This pot has the $20 straddle on, and action has folded all the way back around to the small blind who limps. I complete with what I already know is the winning hand, praying the straddle does something silly like shoving his $2,000 in the middle, because it wouldn't work. The straddler decides to check his option, and all three of us trot along to the flop.
So, in this scenario, small blind calls $15 more. Jaman is in the big blind. He has to call $10 more. And in this spot, he should call with most suited hands, especially if the straddler's not all that inclined to raise. If you know you're going to flop the nuts, then of course you can call any amount. But I usually do not have the foresight that Jaman does. So anyway, the straddle does check. We head to the flop. Let's see what we get.
Ace, deuce, 6 with one club.
Yes.
The small blind checks. He's drawing dead. And I bet $20 into this $60 pot.
Interesting bet in the spot. I definitely like it, though. This is a situation where you should bet with your best hands, like top pair, and also some draws. And if you think about the draws on ace 6, too, there aren't actually that many logical draws. And a gut shot with a backdoor flush draw is a pretty good one. So I like this. I think other reasonable leads would be hands like 8-7 of hearts for 2 overcards to the 6 and a backdoor flush draw. Maybe that hand's even good if the check raise for fun. This is definitely an interesting scenario, though, because I think most players aren't going to have an ace because they would have raised preflop. And if most players don't have an ace, this is a pretty nice spot to bet because you'll be able to get most players off of most hands worse than an ace by the river. So I love betting this, planning to probably triple it off.
The straddler calls my bet, the small blind folds, smart, and we are heads up heading into the turn. The turn king of clubs now puts 2 clubs on the board and adds a flush draw to my gut shot straight draw.
This is a perfect card. I would keep betting.
We check this card and the straddler checks it back.
I'd be interested to know why Jaman checks here. I think this is a spot where if you just keep betting, now your opponent's going to fold out most hands worse than a 6. And if they did happen to turn a king, if you bet something like $80 or even $140 on the turn, you're going to be able to make a very chunky bet on the river and get them to fold out almost everything. So that's usually how I would approach this spot. The only time I'm not going to bet the turn is when I think if I bet I'm going to get raised a lot, but there's really no reason at all to think you're going to get raised a lot in this situation. So I probably would have gone for the turn bet, but whatever. We get tricky.
The river 8 of diamonds appears to be a miss to the untrained eye. But here's where the skill comes in. You have to squint. If I squint my eyes, I can make that 8 of diamonds look like a 4 of diamonds, which is a straight, also known as a good hand. If my brain believes I have a good hand, I will behave as if I have a good hand.
You know, what I want to know is what do you do whenever you go to bluff to give yourself the confidence to do it? Take a second, think about it, and let me know in the comments section down below. I know that whenever I'm going to go to bluff, I just realize my range looks like it does, where I'm betting a lot of good hands and some bluffs. And I realize that whenever I am going to make a bluff, it is going to make money on average. And that's it. And if it's going to make money on average, I don't really care what I have. And I know I made a profitable play. And if you make a profitable play, you should be happy and confident with your decision, win or lose. Anyway, Jaman has the almost nut low on the river. I think betting is the only play that makes sense. And I'd go medium or big. We're trying to get our opponent off of a 6 or maybe an 8 if they have it. I don't think anyone's going to fold an ace or a king at this point because they're going to be getting pretty good odds closing the action on the river. So when you're trying to get a medium strength hand to fold, I like going for a medium bet in general. That said, I do think the line of just betting flop, betting turn, and betting river would get the opponent to fold everything worse than 2 pair at this point, which would be almost their entire range. Let's see what happens.
I bet $50 and now the straddler has no recourse. He must do as he does. He folds and lo and behold, 3-5 of clubs wins again.
3-5 of clubs wins again. Nice hand for Jaman. This was a nice, casual, easy pot that I think a lot of people would overlook. They would check the flop. Maybe they even check the turn. Then they just check fold the river. That would be a disaster. Instead, whenever you have a draw that has some equity, it's usually a good idea to try to put money in the pot because if your opponents don't have anything, they're going to let it go. So that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, click the like and subscribe button down below. Click the notification bell. Also, make sure you check out Jaman's YouTube channel. We'll put a link below in the description. And also, if you want to check out another hand where I discuss bluffing weak, straightforward players, we're going to have that linked somewhere around here. So check that out too. Good luck in your games. Have fun, and I hope all your bluffs get through.